And what is up, guys? Technical Stinkers here, checking in on our little 3D printing operation for the day. If you're new to the channel, uninitiated or unfamiliar, I do 3D printing here at home, stuff to improve my life, fix stuff around the house, show off, maybe sell for money, or just kind of screw around. If you're interested in any of those things, be sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, are you guys sick of hearing about the Orange Storm Giga yet? I hope not, because there's more Orange Storm Giga content. Got the replacement cables from Elegoo. Someone very nice in the comments said that they have a Giga and they're like, oh yeah, it's definitely the cables. I just can't wrap my mind around how it's the cables, but I put the cables in this morning, like 2-hour process. I got Humpty Dumpty back together again, and the X moves just fine. It was indeed the cables. I can't believe that, but that's what it was. So this is the culprit. This is the cable that caused all the issues, and I'm looking over this thing now for any signs of like degradation or, you know, pulling or anything like that. I can't really find anything. The cable that they sent to replace it was much thicker. It was in like a whole outer jacket, so it's certainly an upgrade. It's not just a replacement, it's an upgraded cable. Let's change positions to keep you interested. It prompted me though to think about the Giga in general, like, you know, what am I doing with this thing? Because all the prints that I put on it keep screwing up, and like, you know, I can replace this cable, but that just puts me back to square one. It's like, it's time for like a come to Jesus with the Orange Storm Giga. You know, I got this thing for primarily views, to kind of like boost the YouTube channel. And, you know, I was doing more of the sales thing in the beginning, but like printing stuff on here, it's not consistent enough to really like put out a product that I can reliably print and sell. And that became apparent pretty quick along with all the other stuff. But, you know, I got to keep this thing going. And it's, you know, kind of through that process, that thinking process, I was like, it's time to double down on the Giga. So if you saw my post I put out a couple weeks ago, I guess at this point, I went ahead and got the parts for the Blue Storm Terra conversion. A lot of people suggesting that. Now, it's not like super popular because a lot of people don't have this printer, and I imagine a lot of people don't want to go through and drop an extra $1,000 to do that, which is about what it comes out to. It's going to require a lot of tinkering. I'm going to get a new motherboard for it. I haven't bought that yet, but that's like another $100-something bucks. But it's going to allow me to get consistent results and increase the speed considerably based on everything that I've seen. So that prompts like a whole other sort of, you know, questions about like, all right, so I'm going to go through and do all this. You know, do I want to build a platform for this thing? I went through and I put in like some new electricals. I dusted off the machine a little bit. I'm going to wait for those parts to come in. It requires me to rebuild the tool head. I got a big plate for it. I have to put in a rigid heat bed, you know, replace the springs or pull out the springs. So I'm gonna have to 3D print out of some like, you know, good engineering material, the standoffs for the heat bed. It's gonna require sort of a lot of different things, and this is a good learning experience for me and potentially for you. I'm not sure if I'll be able to really put together a tutorial or anything like that. If they would have sent it to me for free, I would have done the tutorial, but they didn't, so I had to pay for it. So I'm just going to kind of go through the process along the way. So hopefully by the end of it, I'm going to be able to get some of the results that like Joel, 3D printing nerd, that he's kind of shown here and there of his Giga performing, you know, fast. It goes really fast. It seems to work reliably. And that's going to allow me to do a lot more of the tinkering type stuff that I like to do. All right, so indeed, the Orange Storm Giga is working. We've got a sample print going on here. Been doing some things to spruce up the Giga. I got it on casters. You can see that down here. Now I was gonna build a platform to like raise up the height of this thing, but in the end I thought, you know, I'm 7 feet tall and it's already, no, I'm just kidding. It's already up this high. I could take this shelf out and put it like up this high, but then I'd be reaching to like replace the filament and it'd be up real high. I don't wanna do that. So what I'm gonna do is leave it on the casters. I kinda like that vibe for now. Went ahead and put my plexi panels back on the sides, cut them to size, you know, kind of sprucing everything up. I did notice that the fan, I kept hearing this sort of intermittent sort of sound. I think one of the fans in the guts for the control board is maybe having a little issue. So gonna look at that later, but as of right now, it seems okay. I noticed too that the Infinity Flow S1, I don't know if you can hear it. It's trying to feed the filament as it gets pulled in, and it just seems like it's like it's having a real hard time doing that. It's like, you know, it's like someone behind you in line, like pushing you forward like every single chance it gets. It seems like it should be a little smoother. I don't know. I think I'm gonna disconnect this double gang version here. I gotta email Infinity Flow and see if they'll send me the S1 Pro, the newest version of it, because that would be a nice add-on for the Giga. But let's see what else I'm working on as it pertains to this. All right, Infinity Flow, please send me an S1 Plus for free mat, which leads to kind of my next thing here. So what I've been doing is, again, if you've been with the channel, you know I'm an idiot with 3D printers. I'm not an idiot with 3D printers at this point, but a lot of the finer stuff, the actual tinkering stuff, it eludes me. You know, I've never really gotten deep into that. I have a very surface level, and I mean surface level, knowledge base of, you know, firmwares and operating system and hosts and APIs and things like that. But I'm kind of have to go in deep because I got the Luke's Laboratory toolhead conversion, and there's a lot of different directions you can seemingly go with that. You know, Joel, 3D Print Nerd, he did a board swap and a lot of other little configuration things, and I don't think I'm gonna be going that deep into it. I don't know if I wanna be swapping boards and stuff like that yet. Also looked into OpenGiga. You can de-Elegoo your machine. You can, you know, replace the Elegoo firmware, the locked firmware on the MCU with OpenGiga, but I don't know if I want to go that direction either. So I think what I'm going to do is use the Raspberry Pi and put in Mainsail, Moonraker, and that way I can have my own version of Clipper running on the machine, which will allow me to use the beacon probe on the print head. It'll allow me to make, you know, current changes to the motors, and it seems okay. But again, this is me as a complete, like there's a lot of foundational education that I need to do, and I don't want to be that guy that just kind of goes to every single form. I've been that guy plenty of times, going to every single forum, every single chat, trying to pull from you guys' knowledge base and be like, you know, basically do the work for me. So I'm going to have ChatGPT do the work for me, and that seems to be working out great because I can just kind of link it to various articles and various sort of broader concepts and be like, okay, explain this to me as if I don't know anything. And then it spits stuff out. And then I don't have to be ashamed when I don't know what something means. I could say, well, what's this? And it will tell me everything. The only problem is, and I found this with a lot of the different things I've been using GPT for, is that it will spit out some information that I know for a fact is wrong. So for instance here, I asked it if doing this setup will allow me to change the current, because I saw that 3D Print Nerd changed the current to his Y-axis motor. Giga has one Y-axis motor. And then down here it was saying, yes, you can do that. And here the Giga has two Y motors moving a very large heavy bed glass and large build plate. And if you know anything about the Armstrong Giga, it does not have that. It has one Y-axis motor on a flying gantry. The bed doesn't move. It's not a glass bed. And I'm like, you know, because that stuff gives me a lot of pause. And I've had that happen in some of the other GPT projects where it like tells me something completely wrong or uses a wrong date or something like that. And so I told it here that, no, you're stupid clanker. The Giga only has one Y-axis motor. The bed does not move. It's a flying gantry. And then it, you know, it says like, oh, okay, so you're right. That is the process that I'm using. I have a touch screen coming. I got a 10-inch touch screen to go with the Pi 5. That's what I'm currently printing on the Giga. That's the sample print. It's just a little frame for that touch screen. And so hopefully I'll be able to have everything sort of baked into there, also be able to, you know, manage the machine from my computer. This is a great learning experience, and I'm not exactly sure how much I'll really want to share in videos. I mean, it's the only content that I'm really currently doing right now. So I'm gonna do it, and you know, I appreciate you guys' feedback, and when I screw something up or I'm a complete idiot with something, you guys are pretty good about telling me about that without being too mean about it, which is like, you could be mean, it's fine. That, you know, being mean typically sticks in your brain more than being kind. But it's working out great. GPT's kind of shepherding me through the process. So hopefully I can get set up and put in this custom firmware. The touchscreen comes in, I can set that up as the host. And then once the hot end comes in, I can do the teardown, build a new hot end, put it in. I'll have to take the cable chain all apart, all over again. Yes, that's right, because you got to run the beacon via USB. I don't know which USB port. Can you put USB splitters off of a 3D printer? As part of this, a lot of people had suggested previously to maybe put the Giga on a platform. I know a lot of people do that. Put it up here, editing Matt. put this together in Tinkercad, and for like a lot of the things that I build out of wood, I like to make them in Tinkercad ahead of time just to kind of visualize it and kind of see how it might all fit together. Ultimately, I decided I'm not going to go for that. I am going to put it on casters though, just so I can move it around a little easier, and especially if I know I'm going to be working on it here in the near future, just to be able to move it around with some ease without kind of yanking on the, you know, the superstructure of the thing and potentially like screwing something up there. So going to put that on some casters. Gonna wait for those parts to come in, do just a slew of upgrades, and hopefully I can get the Giga to the point where it can print, you know, kind of reliably. It's also good for me too, because getting into the guts of the machine, I can get a better understanding of how it works. And so when the problems, if problems occur in the future, I'll at least have a better idea of it. So it's kind of like, you know, a forced sort of learning. I'm jumping in the deep end, so to speak. With this. Instead of building a printer from the ground up, I'm going this direction, so at least I can revert back to default settings should I screw something up, and it's not like I'm just forever looking over a pile of components that I can't make work. So let me know what you think about that approach in the comments. Another thing too, printer's 2,500 bucks, you know, which I've said in the past is a steal. So if I can, you know, for that extra cost, get it up to the point where it's like a crazy good performing printer, then that, you know, all the better, because, you know, printers at this size don't really exist, at least, you know, and kind of this level at this price point. And it's a printer that, you know, some people have, you know, because it's a consumer printer. So, you know, it's something that maybe people would be interested in looking at in the future. And over here with the Flashforge 85X, I've been doing a few prints on it, Raspberry Pi case, the enclosure for the camera, you know, just to kind of get some more prints under my belt with the 85X. If you want to check one out, links in the description below. Performing admirably thus far. It was doing these. This is for a Raspberry Pi case. I kind of stopped printing it because I want to print something that kind of affixes to the Giga, that can like clamp onto the gantry. Also figure something out for the camera that's attached to the Raspberry Pi for the time lapses. So I got to think about where the ideal camera placement would be. But thus far, 85X performing great. You know, I ran no supports on this. There were little overhang issues, but like, you know, surface quality, it's to be expected from a Flashforge machine. I had high hopes for its performance going in, and it hasn't disappointed yet. Just need to get a few more prints under my belt with it. I like the price point for a 4 color machine. It just comes integrated. It's not like you get need an AMS or anything like that. Sure, your filament's out in the open, but you know me. I mean, look, A1, all your filament's out in the open. I really like it. I'm really liking it thus far. I'm going to hang on to this one. It's going to stay in the stables because it's a good alternative to the Bamboo machine, because I run a lot of time lapses on it, so it's frequently in use. The P1P is kind of far away, I guess. And this machine is like all open. It's just ready to go. So I really do like the 85X. Check that out in the description below. Finally too, for regular viewers of the vlog, you might have seen my sconce video, and that was kind of a departure from what I normally do here. Channel's still small enough to where I can take risks like that. It was a tinkering project. I did use 3D printing, and I was already doing it anyway, so I'm like, let's try it out and see. More people have homes than have just 3D printers, so maybe there's some appeal there. And it fits within the tinkering category. Sometimes I forget tinkering just isn't about 3D printers, but I know 3D printers is my main hustle here, so that's what I'm going to continue to do. But I'd be interested to know what you regular vlog viewers had to say about that content, if you watched it. If not, go check it out. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on it. So kind of rolling the dice, taking a little gamble there, but you know, we'll see if it pays off. It doesn't come out for a while, so we'll see how that works out. So that's what's going on in 3D print land for today. I'd love to know what you think about all these things in the comments below, because I know like I'm not really 3D printing a lot, and I kind of feel compelled to like, you know, really just get some prints going or stuff like that. But I think overall the Orange Storm Giga, that's, you know, it's eating up a lot of time in the 3D print realm, and I know I've beaten that thing like a rented mule in terms of like, you know, it's the total amount of screen time it's getting. But I think on the other side of it, it's going to yield a lot of fruit, you know, doing those upgrades, getting better consistent results. And so the content can be more of like, oh, look at this thing I printed on the Orange Storm Giga. Look at what you can do with the Orange Storm Giga, versus this is the next problem with the Orange Storm Giga, and this is me troubleshooting and fixing it. So if I can make that transition, I think it'll be better overall long term. Also, let me know what you thought about the sconce video, because that's kind of eating me in the back of my mind. As of right now, it hasn't come out yet, and I'm kind of looking at it in my queue the date's getting closer. I'm like, oh God, are people gonna hate that? So let me know what you thought about that in the comments below. Be sure to like the video because it's the nice thing to do. And of course, subscribe for more content like this. I'm The Technicals. See you next time.